Welcome to lower and upper quartiles. And like I said, this is a continuation of statistics. Endeavor to watch the other videos. In this quartile is almost the same thing as median. The formula is almost the same thing as median from group data. Endeavor to watch it, refresh your memory. And then this lower and upper quartile is the same thing as what? The first and third quartile. So, and we already, even from the day we started introduction, we have already introduced this course. We talked about the quartile range, interquartile range, and the rest of the stuff. Now, what I'm concerned is how to calculate the lower and upper quartile. Some textbooks may call it lower and upper limit. Some textbooks may call it the first quartile or the third quartile. So the first one is the first quartile is Q1. The third quartile is what? Q3. You have to pay attention here because I want to explain and solve both the first quartile and the third quartile at the same time. Now, using this formula, you can see that the only difference between this formula is what? The trend. That is at what? Attached to what? N. That is the only difference. And like I said, Q1 is called the what? The first quartile. Write it down in your note. This one is called the what? The third quartile. Another name for Q1 is what? The lower quartile. And another name for Q3 is what? Called what? The upper what? Quartiles. Now, you know how we used to do it? We normally define our values. L1 is the lower class boundary of the first quartile. N is the what? The total frequency. FB is cumulative frequency before the what? The first quartile. F is what? Frequency of the what? The first. And then we have the class limit. Now, please, if I change it and I want to introduce for the formula for what? Q3, that means you should know that L1 is what? The lower class boundary of the what? The third quartile. Let me even put it as L3 so that it will not confuse you. So this is what? If you want to define it under what? The third quartile range, what it means is what? The lower class boundary of the what? The third quartiles. And this will be the what? The cumulative frequency before the third quartile. Let's go so that you understand what I'm saying proper. I don't like, we like solving it and be seeing the proof. Now, what we do here is, first, we have this is the question. And you can see the data below shows the age distribution, dwellers of a what? A village. Now the thing is, calculate the first and what? The third quartiles. Now, what you are still going to know here is that this is still the question. So let me write solution here. So this is very easy, guys. You just pay attention and you just get it. Now, the first thing we have to do under this upper and lower quartiles is, first we need to construct a cumulative frequency curve. And of course, I know you guys know how to construct a cumulative frequency curve. We have been doing it since. So what we are going to do is what? Construct a cumulative frequency curve. Are you guys with me? And then you should know that we have a lower class boundary. So the next thing we are going to do is also what? Construct a class boundary, construct a cumulative frequency. Remember, this is the question. So for we to solve it, we have to construct a class boundary and construct a cumulative frequency curve. Are you with me? Good. And then from there, we will do what? We will find our first quartile and third quartile and answer the following word naturally. So please pause the video as you are home, solve it, and then confirm your answer with my own, please. So, yes, have you tried it? Have you already constructed a cumulative frequency and so is this the answer you got? Nice, of course I know you're following. The next thing we're going to do here is what? Class boundary. Class what? Boundary. Right? Now, what are we going to do? You know how we used to do it? Minus 0.5 here, add what? 0.5 here. You minus 0.5 from 20, you get 19.5. You add here, you get what? 29.5. If you minus from 30, you get what? 29.5 and what? 39.5. You minus from 40, you get what? 39.5. You add from 49, you have 49.5. You here, you have what? 49.5 and what? 59.5. Here is what? 59.5 and what? 69.5. This place will give you 69.5 and what? 79.5. And you have 79.5 to what? 89.5. And guys, please, if you are doing it well, you will notice that this and this are the same. The first one here and here, they are the same. 49 and here. Are you seeing how they are matching together? Good. Now, the next thing we will do is what? To continue. When we are talking about the first quartile, you will see, guys, I want to clean this question and then continue solving. So, you will see from here that we have a little bit of work to do. Remember from the first quartile that Q1 is what? N all over 4 minus FB all into what? F. Are you with me? Then times C, right? Now the first thing we need to find is what? N divided by what? 4. And this N is very important, this first quartile. Total frequency divided by 4. And from a total frequency is what? 120. Cumulative frequency simply means the addition of these frequencies, is it not? So your total frequency here is 120. If you add all these things, you're still going to get what? 120, right? So N is the total frequency, which is what? 120 divided by what? 4, right? Good. And when you divide 120 by 4, what you're going to get is what? 30, right? Good. So what again are we going to do? What we are going to do again is what? What we are going to... Now, guys, when you have 30, the next thing you're going to do is come to the cumulative frequency, and then we add, and we know where 30 falls. And then we'll first get our what? The first quartile range. Is it not? That's how we used to do, when we used to do median. That's the same thing we are doing here. So, you have 30 here. So the first thing you're going to do is, you can see that 25 is less than 30. But in 64, 30 is into this 64, right? So this should be our the first quartile range. Let me click. You know how we used to do it, right, guys? Good. This is the first quartile what? Range, or what? The upper quartile or upper limit. Now, when you get this, life is easier. The next thing we are going to do is start bringing out our formulas together, right? Now, L1 is what? L1 is the lower class boundary of the first quartile. Now, this from our table, this is what? The first quartile. So we've gotten our first quartile, which is what? Let me write this one as Q1, right? The lower class boundary, L1 is equal to what? 39.5, right? And we already have our N divided by 4, which is what? 30. The next thing is what? FB. And FB is the cumulative frequency before the first quartile. The cumulative frequency before the first quartile. Look at our first quartile. The frequency that is before it is what? 25. Right? So FB is what? 25. The frequency of the first quartile, this one. This is the quartile, this is the cumulative frequency, this is the frequency of the what? The first quartile. So it's what? It's 39. Right? This thing is so easy. So the next thing is what? The difference between this. So you have 49.5 minus what? 39.5. Right? So what you are going to get is what? Then it will give you what? 10. Guys, this thing is so easy. Now, the next thing, we just insert this thing and the answer is just there. So, what are we going to do from here is what? Now, so the frequency, the first quartile is what? L1 plus N all over 4 minus FB into C divided by what? 4. And please, you should know that, yes, I think with the whole value is there, right? Good. So you just insert it. N divided by 4 is what? 30. L1 is 39. We have 39.5 plus, you open the bracket, what is up this thing to the what? 30. Minus, our FB is what? 25. You divide by the frequency of the first quarter, which is 39, right? Then, what again? The next thing we will do is times what? The class limit, which is what? 10. So 30 minus 25 should give you 5, divided by 39, and you times everything by 10. So 39.5 plus this, what is it going to give you? So when you times it and plus it by this, it will give you what? 40.78, right? If you want, you can approximate it to what? 40.8. It's still the same answer. Are you with me, guys? Go. If you have done this and you understood it, please, I want you to solve the word, the third quartile. Please, solve the third quartile and drop your answer for me at the comment section, at the comment section, rather. What to do here, we already have the formula, then, which is what? N, all over what? 4, minus what? FB, right? Divide by C. So this is an assignment, guys. Solve this, drop the answer for me at the comment section. So this is percentile and what? Percentiles and deciles. And the only thing I want you to know here is percentile, we are talking about percentage, which is what? 100. Decile is what? We are talking about what? 10. Are you with me? Good. Now, so in percentile, it divides the whole distribution by 100. But when we are talking about the decile, it divides the whole distribution by what? By 10. Are you guys with me? Good. That's why you can see for the percentile, this is the formula, and you can see that it divides the whole distribution, which is the total number of frequency, by what? 100. But if you come to the decile, you will see that it did what? It divided the whole frequency by what? By 10. And I want to introduce and explain the two formulas because we're going to use it to solve everything just in a minute. So as you can see, we have been doing a lot of this thing from the beginning of statistics. We have been introducing it, giving the formulas necessary. So this is the percentage word being required, and this is the lower class boundary of the word of the nth quartile. The lower class boundary of the word, the n percentile. This is the cumulative frequency before the word, the nth quartiles, and the n percentiles. We just finished quartile and quartile range. That's why I'm keep on repeating quartiles. And this is what? The frequency of the word, the percentile, right? Good. But if we're talking about decile, you can see that the only difference is the word, is just this thing here. Because we're talking about decile. So it's still the same thing. This is the required decile. The lower class boundary of the word, the nth decile, the total frequency, cumulative frequency before the word, the nth word, decile, and then the frequency of the nth decile, and this is the class width, right? But you call it class size, rather. Now, are you with me? So, study the formula, know what it is about. We have been doing this thing for median of group data, mode of group data. We talked about a lot of stuff, quartile, interquartile range, third quartile, lower and upper word, quartiles. All these things have been introduced. So if you have been watching the video, you can see that from here, it will be very easy for you. So the only thing you need to do is just study this formula, and then the next thing, let's come to solution proper. Now we have a very simple question here, and the question is, the table shows the mark distribution of 50 students, and this is the mark, this is the frequency attached to it. Now, the question is easy. Calculate the following. Calculate the following. So this is the question. Calculate the following. The 15th percentile, the 70th percentile, the 9th decile, the 6th decile, the 60th percentile. Are you guys with me? So this is very easy. Of course it is, because all you need to do is what? Find what you are being required to find and just insert it into this formula. Answer will be flowing naturally. So I'm going to use this side to solve this. The formula is already there. I hope you are. So like I said, the table below shows the mark distribution of 50 students. This is the mark, this is the frequency. Calculate the 15th percentile, the 70th percentile, the 9th decile, 6th decile, and the rest. And I already written the formula at the beginning of the video. We have already defined these terms. And the next thing we should do under solution is what? Create a class boundary, the frequency, the cumulative frequency. Now, for you to create the class boundary here, this is 16, and you know what we used to do? We do what? We minus 0.5, we add 0.5. Is it not? So 16 minus 0.5 should give you what? Should give you 15.5 to what? 20.5. Is it not? This one, the other one should give you 19.5 to what? 25.5. This other one will give you what? 25.5 to what? 30.5. This other one should give you 30.5 to what? 35.5. This other one should give you 35.5 to what? 40.5. This other one should give you what? 40.5 to what? 45.5. Good. So don't forget, here is the frequency is 13 and here is 7. I think I've spaced a lot of things. So this is 2, 4. So this should be 15 and 9. This should be 15 and this one is 9, right? Good. Then the next thing is under cumulative frequency. This is 2. The next thing is 6. The next thing is what? 21. Here should be 21, right? So 21 plus this should give you what? Here should be 30. So we have 3750. So here it should be 37 and what? 50. Good. I spaced it, guys. That's why I'm writing it. So here is 21. And then here should give you what? 30, right? Good. Good. Now, the next thing is just for us to what? Put our formula. Remember, guys, this is the 15th percentile. Well, I already said that percentile or percentage, we are dealing with what? A value that divides the whole distribution by what? 50%. So the first thing is for you to find the 15th percentile. So the 16th percentile is what? 15 divided by 100 times the total number of frequency. Don't forget it, please. So if you should get the total number of frequency, which is 7.5, locate it at your cumulative frequency, trace it, and answer start flowing what? Naturally. Now, the next thing we should do is 15 divided by 100 times 50 should give you 7.5. Is it not? Good. Then the next thing we're going to do is to locate it at the cumulative frequency. This is our cumulative frequency. So this is 7.5. Locating it, the 7.5 falls under this 21. Is it not? Because 7.5 is more than 6, but it's less than 21.5. So this should be our percentile class. You know how we used to do it? We have been doing it all through this class. So this is our percentile what? Class, right? Now the next thing we should do is what? Find the cumulative frequency before this, right? And L1 is the lower class boundary of the what? The percentile. So L1 is what? 25.5. And then what? Our total, we have already gotten this to be what? 7.5, right? Good. The next thing is FB. And FB is what? Our FB is the cumulative frequency before the class of what? The nth quartile, which is our quartile now is the percentile. The percentile, not quartile, please. I keep on making this mistake. I don't know why. So this is our cumulative frequency before this class, right? Before the nth percentile, which we have already gotten. So FB is what? 6. And then we have the frequency. The frequency here is what? 15, right? Good. And our class width is what? Is 5. So all you need to do is insert it into this formula and you get your answer. So P, remember, is what? L1 plus what? N divided by what? Minus FB, all divided by C times what? C, right? So this divided by this, we're only getting into the what? 7.5 minus FB, which is 6, right? Good. Divided by the frequency, which is 15, times 5. And L1 is what? 25.5. Please, it should be noted, because you see this formula, you can see that when I divided 15 divided by 100, I times it by 50. Do not make a mistake of just because you saw the formula here, and then you just go and do 15 divided by 100, just like that, without passing it by the total number of the frequency. You will fail it, please. Take note. So, if you should work on this, and your answer should not be what? Your answer should not be what? This is 25.5 plus, so this whole bracket will give you 0.5. 25 plus 0.5 should give you what? 26. Are you with me? Good. With this example, please, class, the other assignment is for you to calculate the 70th percentile. Calculate the 70th percentile, right? That's an assignment. Please solve it. Use the same procedure, this formula, and solve the 70th one percentile. Then the next thing we have to calculate right now, I will solve the 9th decile, and the 6th and 60th percentile is still an assignment. Please endeavor to do it. So remember, we are still under this question, and like I said, the 70th percentile is an assignment. I want to solve the 90th decile, then the 6th decile and the 60th percentile is an assignment. So the 9th decile, all you need to do is what? 9 divided by what? 10 times what? The total number of frequencies, which is 50, and you're going to get what? 45. The next thing is to find the cumulative frequency before this. Frequency of this decile class and the class width. You put it, answer goes. L1 is the lower class boundary of the what? The decile class. So if this is the 9th, the 9th decile is 45, we try to locate it. So here you can see that 37, it doesn't go. It's lower than 45, but 45 is lower than what? 50. So this is what? Where it's the range of our decile class is, right? Good. Now, once we locate this, everything is easy now. So FB, the cumulative frequency before the what? Our decile class is what? 37, right? Now, L1 is what? The lower class boundary of our decile class, which is what? 40.5, right? This is 40.5. Good. The next thing is just to put it, the frequency of this is what? 13. Frequency of the decile class is what? 13, right? Good. Our class width is what? 5, right? That is 40.5 minus 45.5 minus 40.5, right? Will give you 5, right? Good. So all you need to do is just insert it into your formula and you get your answer. So L1 is what? 40.5, right? Plus this is this. Note it. This is the 9th decile divided by 10 times the total number of frequencies. So you have 45 minus what? FB, and our FB is what? 37 divided by 13 or times what? 5. So this is 40.5 plus. So if you work this thing, this minus this, so this is 40.5 plus 45 minus 37 divided by 13 times 5 should give you 3.08. If you plus everything together, you're going to get what? 43.6. Now, please remember our assignment, finish it up. The only thing you should interest yourself in all this, what we have been doing so far, is what? Did you know the formula and what they represent? If you can know the formula and what they represent, get the range of where it falls, answer is very easy for you to get these answers. You can see that all we are doing is just bringing out the value, inserting it into the formula, and what? Solving it. And answers have been flowing what? Naturally. So please endeavor to revise this, do the assignment, and if there's any question, drop it in the comment section or get to me personally. Thank you very much.